In the frostbitten heart of December, under a sky heavy with the promise of snow, the quaint village of Hallowdale prepared for the festive season with an unease that clung to the air like frost to window panes. The children, normally ablaze with excitement at the approach of Christmas, carried a wariness in their eyes, whispering tales not of Santa Claus, but of a darker, more malevolent figure, a mysterious man dressed as Santa, who visited not to reward, but to punish the naughty in ways beyond their wildest fears. Amidst this chilling atmosphere, we meet Sarah, a single mother new to Hallowdale, who dismissed these stories as the product of overactive imaginations. She and her daughter, Emily, had moved to escape the haunting memories of their past, seeking the solace of a fresh start. The small, isolated village, with its cobbled streets and ancient, timber-framed houses, seemed the perfect place to forget and rebuild. However, as December deepened, so too did the sense of foreboding that enveloped the village. Sarah noticed it in the hushed tones of her neighbors, in the way lights in homes flickered out well before midnight, and in the absence of children playing outside after dusk. She learned of the village's peculiar tradition every year. On the night of December 24th, it was said that the mysterious Santa would visit, and by morning, something unspeakable would have occurred to those deemed naughty. Sarah, rational to her core, attributed these tales to local superstition. But she couldn't ignore the undercurrent of fear that ran through Hallowdale. She felt it most acutely in the old, sprawling forest that bordered her home, where the trees seemed to whisper and watch. As Christmas Eve approached, a series of unsettling events began to unfold, each more disturbing than the last. It started with small, odd occurrences, misplaced objects, strange footsteps in the snow around their home, and fleeting shadows that seemed to lurk just beyond the corner of Sarah's eye. Then, there were the nights when Emily would wake, screaming from nightmares of a man in a Santa suit, his eyes as cold and dead as the winter night. With each passing day, Sarah's skepticism waned, giving way to a creeping dread. She began to notice peculiar footprints in the snow, larger than any man's, leading from the depths of the forest to the very doorstep of their home. Whispers from the villagers spoke of similar signs, of pets gone missing, and of chilling laughter echoing through the night. On Christmas Eve, as darkness cloaked Hallowdale, Sarah's fear reached its zenith. The village lay in an oppressive silence, its inhabitants barricaded within their homes as if bracing for a storm. Sarah, too, fortified her home, double-checking locks and closing shutters, all the while trying to convince Emily that everything would be all right, that the morning would bring Christmas joy. Yet, as the clock chimed midnight, the true horror began. A knock, soft yet insistent, echoed through their house. Emily, asleep in her bed, remained oblivious to the sound that made Sarah's blood run cold. She approached the door with trepidation, peering through the peephole, only to find the night seemingly empty. Yet, the knocking persisted, summoning every ounce of courage. Sarah opened the door a crack, only to be met by the chilling sight of a man dressed as Santa. His suit not jolly red but a darker, bloodier hue. His eyes, devoid of any warmth, bore into her soul, and a twisted smile played upon his lips. "You have been naughty," he whispered, his voice like the grave. Before Sarah could react, the figure vanished into the night, leaving behind a sense of despair so profound it threatened to suffocate her. Panic took hold as Sarah rushed to Emily's room, only to find her daughter's bed empty, the window wide open, and the chilling laughter of the mysterious Santa echoing from the forest. Driven by a mother's love, Sarah ventured into the snow-blanketed woods, following the sinister laughter that seemed to come from everywhere and nowhere. The forest, alive with shadows and whispers, seemed to mock her fear, drawing her deeper into its heart. There, in a clearing bathed in moonlight, Sarah found Emily, asleep and unharmed, but not alone. Surrounding her were figures. Children from the village, all asleep. All seemingly untouched, but forever changed. The mysterious Santa stood among them, his presence a blasphemy against the night. "You see, Sarah," he spoke, his voice a serenade of nightmares. "Naughtiness comes in many forms. Yours was disbelief, a refusal to heed the warnings. But fear not, for you have been punished, and punishment brings enlightenment." With those final words, the figure vanished, leaving Sarah in a world turned upside down. She gathered Emily in her arms and returned home, the weight of the night's horrors heavy upon her. As dawn broke over Hallowdale, the village awoke to find that the mysterious Santa had visited once more, leaving behind not just fear, but a lesson interwoven with the fabric of their lives. Sarah, now a believer in the tales she once dismissed, understood that some horrors are too real to ignore, and that the line between myth and reality is often as fragile as the snow upon which it is written. The impact of that night lingered long after the decorations were taken down and the festive lights dimmed. Sarah and Emily, like the rest of Hallowdale, would never forget the Christmas when the mysterious Santa visited, reminding them that not all gifts are welcome, and that sometimes the greatest horror lies in the punishment of being naughty.